Good evening. Self overcoming. Will to truth. Do you call it? You wisest ones. That which impels you and makes you ardent. Will for the thinkableness of all being. Thus do I call you will. All being would you make thinkable? For you doubt with good reason whether it be already thinkable, but it shall accommodate and bend itself to you. So wills your will. Smooth shall it become and subject to the spirit as its mirror and reflection. That is your entire will, you wisest ones, as a will to power, and even when you speak of good and evil, and of estimates of value, you would still create a world before which you can bow the knee. Such is your ultimate hope and ecstasy. The ignorant, to be sure, the people, they are like a river on which a boat floats along, and in the boat sit the estimates of value, solemn and disguised. Your will and your valuations have you put on the river of becoming. It betrays to me an an old will to power, what is believed by the people as good and evil. It was you wisest ones, who put such guests in this boat and gave them pomp and proud names, you and your ruling will. Onward, the river now carries your boat. It must carry it, a small matter, if the rough wave forms and angrily resist its keel. It is not the river that is your danger and the end of your good and evil. You wisest ones, what that will itself, the will to power, the eunuchs housed, procreating life will. What that you may understand my gospel of good and evil. For that purpose will I tell you my gospel of life and of the nature of all living things. The living thing did I follow. I walked in the broadest and narrowest paths to learn its nature. With a hundred-faced mirror did I catch its glance when its mouth was shut so that its eye might speak to me, and its eye spoke to me. But wherever I found living things, there heard I also the language of obedience. All living things are obeying things, and I heard and this heard I secondly, whatever cannot obey itself is is commanded. Such is the nature of living things. This, however, is the third thing which I heard, namely that commanding is more difficult than obeying, and not only because the commander bears the burden of all obeyers, and because this burden readily crushes him. An attempt and a risk seemed all commanding to me, and whenever it commands, the living thing risks itself thereby. Yes, even when it commands itself, then also must it must it atone for its commanding. Of its own law must it become the judge and avenger and victim. How does this happen? So did I ask myself, what persuades the living thing to obey and command and even be obedient in commanding? Hearken, hearken now to my word, you wisest ones. test it seriously, whether I have crept into the heart of life itself and into the roots of its heart. Wherever I found a living thing, there found I will to power, and even in the will of the servant found I the will to be master. That to the stronger the weaker shall serve, thereto persuades he his will, who would be master over a still weaker one. That delight alone he is unwilling to forego, and as the lesser surrenders himself to the greater, that he may have delight and power over the least of all, so do even the greatest surrender himself and stakes life for the sake of power. It is the surrender of the greatest to run risk and danger and play dice for death, and where there is sacrifice and service and love glances, there also is the will to be master. By ways do the weaker then slink into the fortress and into the heart of the mightier one, and there steals power. And this secret spoke life herself to me. Behold, said she, I am that which must ever overcome itself. To be sure, you call it will to procreation, or impulse towards a goal, towards the higher, remoter, more manifold, but all that is one and the same secret. Rather would I perish than disown this one thing, and verily, where there is perishing and leaf falling, lo, there does life sacrifice itself for power. That I have to be struggle and becoming and purpose and cross purpose. Ah, he who divines my will divines well also on what crooked paths it has to tread. Trade whatever is what whatever I create, and however much I love it, soon must I be adverse to it and to my love. So wills my will, and even you, discerning one, are only a path and footstep of my will. Verily, my will to power walks even on the foot of your will to truth. He certainly did not hit the truth who shot at it the formula will to existence. That will does not exist. For what is not cannot will. That however which is in existence, how could I still strive for existence? Only where there is life is there also will. Not however will to life, but so teach I you, will to power. Much is much is reckoned reckoned higher than life itself by the living one, but out of the very reckoning speaks the will to power. Thus did life once teach me, and thereby you wisest ones do I solve you the riddle of your hearts. I say to you, good and evil, which would be everlasting, it does not exist of its own accord. Must it ever overcome itself anew? With your values and formulae of good and evil, you exercise power, you valuing ones, and that is your secret love, and the sparkling, trembling and overflowing of your souls. But a stronger power grows out of your values, and a new overcoming by it breaks egg and eggshell, and he who has to be a creator in good and evil, verily he has first to be a destroyer and break values in pieces. Thus does the greatest evil pertain to the highest good, that however is creating good. Let us speak thereof, you wisest one, even though it be bad to be silent is worse. All suppressed truths become poisonous, and let everything break up, which can break up by our truths. Many a house is still to be built. Thus spoke Zarathustra.